I'm not really here to just get on podium anymore. I want to win. I feel like I'll be in the fight. To compete with these factory guys, it's difficult because they're always making new parts, always developing. We're such a small team, and we don't have those resources, but everybody works so hard.
I've never seen Bobby with the mental stability he has right now. He's super happy, super confident. It's awesome, actually.
Everybody sees a certain side to Bobby that's very serious, and he's just always business. I've seen the other side to him. He has a big heart, a very big heart, and it's so nice because I just got to see that, and I felt like it was for me only because he didn't share it with everybody, and I kind of liked that. He just won me over.
Look at that little crab on the water. Do you see it right there?
What?
Watch, you'll see. It might have gone back in the water. It was a little crab. It was a little baby, little guy. He pissed off. What? There he goes. He's out. That was the first time I saw a little crab. 2024, I'll be racing the Roland Sands SDI Indian Challenger, King of the Baggers. I'll be racing the 750 this weekend with Wrench Aussie Dave Racing, and then I'll also continue after this weekend doing the Superbike with them as well. And obviously, Dainese. I'll be doing the, basically more of an activation setup this year. Busy man, but I'm excited to ride always. But the Superbike stuff is, I'm really looking forward to that. I'm excited to get rolling.
Bobby Fong, Mission King of the Baggers on the Indian, comes over the crest of the hill. He'll take the win.
Last season, Fong won in Harley-Davidson's backyard at MotoAmerica. And a few weeks later, won again at Indian's home track at Brainerd.
The spoils of the podium, as Bobby Fong able to get his second of the season.
Winning in Harley-Davidson's backyard, it was definitely cool. But I felt it, believe it or not, like 3 weeks ago. Working for Dainese, we partnered with Harley for an air vest. So I actually went to the factory 3 weeks ago to train some of the employees, not on the racing side, like more the designer side and all that stuff. And I went to the factory and just how many employees they have, how big it is, and just the foundation. It's like, it hit me a few weeks ago, like, man, I beat these guys. This is what they're working with. They got great riders. I mean, obviously, they built a great program, and we did well, and it hit me a few weeks ago.
He also won a challenge race at COTA.
The Mission Challenge is a winner-take-all, full-out sprint race, usually 2 or 3 laps depending on the length of the circuit that we're at. A cool $5 grand to win, so definitely a good opportunity for our riders.
He's at his peak right now. He's doing everything well, and he's keeping his head straight, and I think you're going to see some good things from Bobby this year.
Jason, this is it. Our first round for 18 for Mission King of the Baggers, and we're doing it right here in Daytona.
Yeah, it's been a long off season, but these teams, Greg, they've been working all winter long trying to get these bikes better.
The biggest challenge for the baggers going to Daytona is the banking. Those things are huge. The challenge, I think, is getting them slowed down. Bobby Fong doing the bagger and the Daytona 200, you couldn't talk about 2 bikes totally different. Some of their sessions are back to back. You got to be mainly focused. If you get out there and you forget which bike you're on for a lap, it could not end very well.
When I'm doing 2 classes, I'm not gonna lie, like straight up, it is tough. I know I look like I got a big head, but it's not too big. The bagger, you really have to wring its neck. Like you have to manhandle it, backing it in, sliding out. Like it's a proper motorcycle for sure, and it's a big 100. Flat trackers know what I mean. It's like a big XR 100. You can ride the hell out of it, but everything's happened slower. God, is it all salsa on that thing, or does it look like, oh, that's a proper tortilla thing? I'm like, dude, what have you been doing? Spilling salsa on that thing? Yeah. Come back just a little bit for me. You know what I just barely thought about was I have this mustache right now that's going to be on the camera all year long, this dirty little officer dangle stash. It's not thick though.
I coached Bobby for a lot of years. We both really enjoy motocross for training, and so now that he's in Southern California, working at Day and Easy and living a bit closer, you know, he's kind of my go-to training buddy to go motocrossing.
Bob and I have been doing some fun things to kind of keep us motivated and focused, and we'll kind of separate a little bit on track, and one's rabbit and one's fox trying to catch him, and keeps us kind of focused on what we're doing and just keep knocking out laps with a purpose.
God, it looks like a zoo out there, damn it.
I have a tendency to get myself hurt trying to be too much of a motocrosser sometimes, so I don't go to the track alone. I still don't think there's any other training I can do, especially with a motorcycle where the balance comes into play. You're working the controls in a very natural way, which you have to on a road race bike. The focus required to hit all my spots and try to be perfect. You know, there's no other thing in the world that I can do at that heightened intensity in such a continuous way. Really difficult to replicate road racing.
He's not specifically my coach anymore, but we're buddies. We'll ride motocross together, and I actually got a Yamaha now because I rode his bike. I wish I didn't ride his bike because I had to spend all this money on a new Yamaha 450.
This thing's so nice, though.
Motocross has been good to me, and obviously Southern California is like the mecca of dirt bikes, you know, so every motocross track every day during the week is just a mess. It's a zoo. But I really have been enjoying living in Southern California with the motocross tracks and all the fast kids and riders all over.
I think that motocross is an incredibly valuable training tool.
You could have the best workout at home on the bicycle, and it's no feeling like leaving the moto track in one piece.
I feel lucky to have a buddy like Bob to go do it with.
You know he's moving though, right?
He hadn't told me that yet.
Uh-oh. You spilled the beans. I've been so nervous to tell Josh.
I didn't know.
He calls me up. He's like, I don't find out from the press rise guys that you're moving. I'm like, no, bro, hold on. Everybody knows. He's the only one that doesn't know. And I'm like, I had to break the news. Well, you broke the ice.
Yeah.
So.
Damn.
The first Bagger session of the season, and they lose an engine on the Indian Challenger.
Daytona is a really, really tough place, no matter what class you're in.
Blew her up.
Hold the bike.
It's the first race of the year, and everybody's just working the kinks out.
Motor?
Yeah.
You pretty much own the first sector.
One down is why we brought 3.
Well, we got the first session out of the way. We got to get to work now, though.
This place eats everything up. Every single thing's gonna rear its head at Daytona. This is the biggest place, the harshest environment. It's the only place where you could just have full, sustained, wide open throttle. Something you would never replicate on a dyno, right? You're not gonna sit there and just hold the thing wide open for 3 minutes and see if it blows up. Yeah, you can back them off and be more conservative, and you're gonna lose 20, 30 horsepower, and you're gonna do poorly. So you have to come here hoping you've built something reliable that makes really good power. It's like the most you can ask out of an engine.
The crew swaps out the engine with enough time to put in some qualifying laps in Q1.
The session is continuing to not be to Bobby Fong's liking. He still made it back out there, but leading the way is still Tyler O'Hara.
Hardest I can go.
Okay.
Zero grip. I don't even know how fast I'm going in the straightaway.
Not very.
The thing is so slow. How fast was I going track speeds?
171.
So double the horsepower, push them to their limit, and then hold them wide open. It's just uphill the whole way.
In Q2, the bike is improved, and they move from P9 to P6 and make the challenge race.
Hey, it is top 6. Okay. So just get ready, be ready.
We're in. Yeah,
we're in. Let's go.
There's a problem with the starter, and the team tries to bump start it.
And then you see Bobby Fong looks like he has having an issue here.
Don't run into Kyle.
That slipper clutch.
What the hell are they doing, dude?
Go!
You see some guys from the M4 Suzuki team helping Bobby push that bike.
say die. Thank you.
And they're off, and we are now underway for the Mission King of the Baggers Challenge, a 2-lap shootout.
I can't believe we even made it.
And Bobby Fong back there, they couldn't get that bike fired to complete that sliding lap, and then he goes wide as well.
He's done.
There might be something wrong with the battery or something. We've never lost a starter, never lost a battery, so maybe it's got electrical, I don't know.
The bike was just slow. You know, he had good speed in the infield, but they get up on the banking and he was really just getting in the way. So he pulled in, instead of going to park for May, he went directly to the garage, which disqualified him from that whole session. So he had to revert back to his qualifying position in the first qualifying.
With a penalty, Fong will start P10 on the grid for both Baggers races.
So dealing with some weird problems, but I think it's all a part of bagger racing, man. It's like just kind of, you know, work in progress and luck of the draw.
You see Bobby Fong aboard the number 50. He's up into third. He's a rider that's come on strong and wanting to start the season off on a good note.
He must be okay with that fork height.
Stay on it, stay on it. Go back the other way with the suspension. What position? P, position. Picture.
Stefano does have half a second on you, so you might need a drafter.
Dude, I can't draft.
The team put in a lot of work for this event. When we did some testing, Bobby was really impressive on the 750. Bobby was on a mission, riding as good as I've ever seen him ride, ever.
Thinking they had a small issue with the fuel pump, the team swaps out the fuel tank in Q1.
Look for a toe, look for a toe.
Stefano Mesa is the number 37, lead rider on your screen. And you can see the other riders just gobble him up on the straightaway. That's the draft and pass. But Bobby Fong on the GSXR 750 will get in front of Josh Herron, who's on that number 2.
Come on, Bob, he's in the right spot.
Stefano Mesa's going to get a great run. These two guys are going to go side by side. Mesa, with his size, he's going to be able to draft right back past these two. Couple fast sectors for Bobby Fong and Herron in that second split. That would be where that draft was. Let's see what they come across the line at.
149.2, 149 flat, so a couple of tenths off.
As time expired on the session, Fong lost the front and had a minor crash.
Looks like that bike probably slid on its right side most of the way, so that's a good sign. They're not going to have to do too much to that bike to get it going again.
He still ends up qualifying on the front row in P3.
Man, it's kind of frustrating out there. You want to draft with somebody, and then you might be passing them in some areas, they might be passing than you. So we feel pretty good. We had a spill at the end, just trying too hard, name of the game, and we got front row, but it really means nothing, man. It's a long race, and there could be a lot going on. We got to perfect everything to win this race. So looking forward to it. Feel good though.
Here we go. Revs are up, lights off, and we are away racing. Mission King of the Baggers. That's the best start he's ever had. It looks like the 17er Perfos might have a bit underneath to lead us into turn number 1.
And look just back behind these guys. There's another one trying to join the party. That's Bobby Fong, Greg, on that Indian. And we've also seen Bobby win races. He's gone the fastest first split on this lap, 57.9 to the leaders. So Bobby Fong on that 50 is on his way to forward.
You don't have the horsepower to catch them. You can gather them up and they walk.
When these 5 guys all get organized at the front, they pull away from Bobby Fong.
Factory horsepower over privateer horsepower.
It's kind of a bummer because we thought we had something good on the Bagger, at least from winter testing. I felt like I was riding pretty good, but like we probably gained 5 horsepower, where everybody else probably gained 40.
And the Indian motorcycle of Troy Herfoss will be the meat of the sandwich of the Harley-Davidsons, Kyle Wyman and James Rispoli.
Not where we want to be, but a finish is a good, we'll take it, I'll take it.
Yeah. To be positive here, because I'm positive Bob these days, we put in more laps than last year.
Basically, we need more juice, boys. Like, it just, we show up. That's the guac. What do you think? Add more salt, Sid?
Is it gonna blow my socks off? Is
No,
that
actually,
is that a UK saying? Is it gonna blow my socks off?
Probably.
Yeah.
No, we show up to Daytona. The team. The team was like, yeah, man, we found some horsepower over the off season. I'm like, so we tested. I'm like, yeah, it seems like the bike's a little bit faster from last year, all that stuff, and we show up to Daytona, go on the first lap. I'm like, holy. I was like, we found, X amount of horsepower. Those factory boys and everybody else found triple what we found. So I was like, we got to get back to work, boys. It's just tough, man, because it's like such a small deal, we have going on with the team and myself. It's like, it's hard, it's just so much money, Like at the back, there's just so much money to compete. And I was saying it honestly at Daytona, it was like, I didn't even know if I wanted to race the baggers anymore. Like, cause I'm just like, I was like, oh, here we are, my team's busting their ass. Everybody's staying up till 2 a.m., working on the motorcycle. I'm in the Daytona 200. I'm top 3 almost every session, running up front, but yet I can barely finish 7th in the bagger class. This is just ridiculous. Like before, in the first few years, you could run up front with the factories, all that stuff. It's just, I think personally, it's getting out of control. It's costing the teams too much money for us to, I feel like for me now to run up front, it's just like, I know we can, but it's just going to be like this every weekend, and it's just going to cost a lot of money. I just don't think it's fair for the private tiers now, like it's so open, the rules with the motors, and, I don't know, everybody's pushing the limits, and it's just hard. Especially Harley, you're going up a multi-million dollar budget, it's like crazy. I think that's done. We just keep that on low.
It is
now,
done.
Huh? Yeah.
I can hear it.
Yeah.
Beginning of the season, and it is so exciting to have the field of motorcycles we have competing in the Daytona 200.
And there's no question, this is the most competitive field that we have seen in 20 years. It might be the most competitive field we've seen in even longer than that. There's any one of 20 plus riders that can go to the front today and win this race.
Daytona is big again. When I was a kid, all the riders from international levels came over and did the Daytona 200. This year we have guys at Isle of Man, BSB winners, the Yamaha World Endurance Team. There's just so many more international teams there. That's what makes it such a special race, and that's what makes it such a special race to win.
You can be fast, but that's not enough here. And obviously the nature of this place is like you're going to get a big group because of the draft.
Because of the length of the race, there are also mandated pit stops, and that is something unlike any of the other races on our calendar. Bobby Fong never having won it, it's certainly something that he wants to add to his career bucket list.
It's a long race, a lot of luck, honestly. You hear people talking about strategies and all that stuff. It's like, man, it is what it is, in the last lap. I've led on the last lap plenty of times around here in different classes, and that's usually not the way to go. Obviously I want to win, but everything has to be, as a team, as a rider, pit stops, and so we'll just do the best we can.
The 82nd running of the Daytona 200 is underway with the lights off. And it's the mad dash to turn number 1, and it looks like the number 70 of Ty Scott, your pole sitter on that Vision Wheel M4X Star Suzuki, will lead us through. But Josh Herron also got a good launch. Last year's winner trying for a bit up the inside as they head towards the International Horseshoe, and it's going to be Herron who's going to lead the way.
Going into the race, there's always just so much that goes into it. Pit stops, strategies, lappers.
Wrenched motorcycles on the GSXR 750 is Bobby Fong, who now leads it.
For the first stint, I remember being in the front group, leading for a while.
Fong leads for 6 laps and consistently was in the top 3 before the first pit stop, where everything changed.
There's the leg out for Bobby Fong. He's signaling to the riders behind him that he's coming into the pits. He's got to get the thing slowed down by the time pit entrance happens right there.
This feels like an eternity. You just feel like you're just absolutely parked sitting there when you come down pit lane, especially on that pit lane speed limiter. Let's see how this wrench team gets Bobby Fong in and out. Very calm, very relaxed as they come in.
They're going rear tire only,
It
Jason.
looks like it. I could see somebody looking at that front tire. That's Robbie Peterson on the right, I believe.
Oh, they're struggling with the rear, struggling to get it off. He finally got it off.
That's Nick Seiling on the rear wheel there, trying to get that rear wheel back in. I thought it was Robbie, but it's not Robbie.
Nope, so basically for Bobby, you're not allowed to touch that bike until the fuel is off the bike.
The team was assessed a 3-second penalty when the crew member assigned to the fire extinguisher took their attention off the gas tank to grab a water bottle off the ground.
You can have the pace to win, but when you come down pit lane, it is just as important, if not more important, than the actual spinning fast lap.
Bobby came in with running in the top 3 and went out 10 seconds behind. So lesson learned, Daytona 200, you got to come here with all your ducks in a row.
After that pit stop, I thought it was good, but I didn't see anybody. I was like, am I leading? But then on my board, I wasn't, and I'm like, man, they must have had a 2-second pit stop. It was like an 11-second gap right off the bat. I'm like, holy hell, like. So all I can do is just do my thing. I caught Tyler Scott, and then we pitted again. Caught Hayden Gillum. I was in the wrong place at the wrong time with lappers. Like, Hayden got like a 4-second gap, and I finally caught him, passed him with like 2 laps to go. And then I knew I had like a 3-second penalty. I'm like, I'm just gonna ride, finish where I'm finishing, but just let it be. I'm gonna finish 4th.
And now for Josh Aaron, the number 2. He wins again at the Daytona 200 and takes the checkered flag. Second place will go to Ty Scott. So the 95 Gillum comes across the stripe in 3rd place. Bobby Fong in 4th. And now Richie Escalante, after a last lap drama, will come home in 5th spot.
It's just brutal.
Hey, you can't blame anybody. It's just a part of the deal, and yeah, it's just a part of the deal.
Yeah, sorry, Bob. That was absolutely on us, but okay. Yeah, and I didn't help the situation. Yeah, just rushed in from Parc Ferme where they were doing some post-race checks and got the news that our fuel tank was 0.4 of a litre, held too much fuel. So all that hard work by Bobby kind of came to naught. Unfortunately, disqualification from the Daytona 200. Yeah, I guess we got DQ'd, which kind of sucks because, you know, money in the pocket's gone. In my eyes, it hoards more fuel, it's more weight. It's a disadvantage, you know? Like, it's not like we use the tank for like a strategy, like to ride longer. So we got DQ'd. Emotions, disappointment, anger. I think anger. Not so much for the DQ, just from personally, the way the day went. Yeah, I'm supposed to do a better job.
On the next episode, Kayla Yakov and the new Rahal team competes in their first Daytona 200.
All right, let's go. Love you, have fun.
It's a big step, but this is what we need to take in order for me to get to where I want to be.